Hello, everybody. We are live in Berlin today, so it's not your usual setup. This is the best we could do with the hotel lights. It's a nice hotel room, but I've got these weird yellow lights, so this is actually what we look like without the really nice lighting that we left in the UK. We are fresh from keynoting the Chemical Sales and Marketing Toolbox. We've done that this morning. And if you've been following our journey in 2017, you've probably noticed we've been doing a lot of speaking. And that has actually not come by accident. That's been a proactive part of our strategy this year. It's been something we've been looking to build that part of our business. So we've been doing some stuff to get some really great, some free gigs and some really great paid gigs as well. So today we just wanted to share with you 7 things that we have been doing last year and this year to expand that part of our business and get more of these speaking gigs. So if you want to get speaking gigs too, just follow these things that we have done. Yes. So we've got 7 things. We've got no fancy video editing or anything. I kind of wish we had like numbers wrote on pieces of paper or something.
That would have been good. I'll use my fingers instead. That'd be good.
That's great. Okay, so number one.
Number one is just get some experience, okay? The more gigs you do, the more speaking gigs you will get, because people get to see you speak and they will see what message you have to share and how good you are, and they will believe that you can speak, and they will be more likely to either recommend you or hire you for their own event. And it's really important to just get that experience, okay? So the more gigs you do, the better you will be at speaking, and the more likely you will be hired. Now, the crucial thing here is that some speaking gigs are good to do and some aren't. So depending on where you are at in your journey, that's up to you. So there might be a level where free gigs just aren't going to be good for you, but and your experience is fine, you don't need to practice anymore. We see speaking gigs go in 2 ways. So some are paid for, and they're great, and you're probably not going to get much more out of them. The attendees might not be someone that could buy from you or hire you again. Or you might get the events that don't pay you, and there's almost no reason to do them if you think about it in that way. But actually the people in the audience might be your perfect clients. You might get extra business that way. Or they might be people in the audience that could hire you to speak at other events. So that's also something to look at as to which events you choose.
Another thing that you can do around that, if you want to do more speaking gigs, is create your own. So that's something we done in 2016. We set up Atomic Networking, and it was a great way just for our local audience to come together, but it was also great for us from a selfish point of view to actually just practice speaking, because we were speaking every single month at Atomic Networking.
Yes. So that's been really good for us, and honing our awesome presentation stuff.
All right.
Okay, number two.
Give it to me. Number 2. All right. Number 2 is connect with event organizers. And sometimes this means actually going to events to connect with those audiences. Organizers. That's what we've done a ton of from probably 2014, 2015 onwards. We were going to a ton of different events, but when we were at those events, we always made it our mission to connect with the organizers, connect with the team, connect with the people who were organizing those conferences. So you get on their radars as early as possible.
Yes, some people don't want to do that. They won't go to an event unless they're speaking at that event, and that's kind of limiting to them, because they probably would be, hired to speak there if the organizer had only just met them in person. It's hard to hire someone from a different country who's done international gigs if they haven't met you or Skyped with you or something. So that's often an easy way in.
A good way to kind of break down that barrier, though, if you can't afford or don't want to start going to a ton of different events to connect with organizers, is invite them to collaborate on some kind of content. So we've done a ton of that as well. We've got people on our podcast, we've got people on Rule Breakers Conference, we've been on their shows, and if we can collaborate with organizers, then again, it's just a great way of getting on their radar.
Yes, that's good, because you get to know each other, and then once they fall in love with you guys and see what talent you have to offer, they're going to want to hire you to speak. Okay.
All right, come on, Pete. Number three.
Number 3 is about growing your influence within your niche with content. Okay, so no event organizer is going to hire you unless they know that what you have to share is important and relevant to their audience. And the only way you can get this across, other than if they see you speak elsewhere, is if you have content.
Content whilst you're speaking during the content.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I was going to say. If you have a blog, they can't see you speak or hear you speak. If you have a podcast or a video, they can actually see how comfortable you are on camera or in person speaking, and they'll have a better sense of how you will be in person at an event. We've had people hire us and tell us, "Oh, I can't wait for your talk. I'm really looking forward to it. You're awesome speakers." And then we've said to them, like, "You've never seen us speak?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I just presumed because I've been watching your videos that you were good." So that's pretty cool.
Yes. Okay. Go on to number 4.
Number 4? Yes. Number 4.
Give me the fingers, Pete. Number 4. Number 4.
Give you the fingers.
All 4 of them. Okay. Number 4 is try to get to speak at what we call a big domino event. So we've talked about big dominoes before in the past. Big dominoes we class as something that maybe takes a little bit more effort to do, but if you can achieve that big domino goal, then that opens up so many more doors and knocks all the other dominoes down, so it becomes a lot more easier.
Yes.
So there are these big domino events we see that are actually big leading industry events, and if you can get on those stages, the doors open up. For us, that was social media marketing world. We kind of pinpointed that as an event we really wanted to get on the stage of, and we put like 150% effort into actually getting on that stage. So we went a ton of times, we've done all the things we talked about here, we connected with the organisers, we've done all the other, I'm not going to give you spoilers of what's coming up, but we've done all the other things, we should have done this one last.
Yes.
We've done all the other things that we've done in this presentation and put in 150% effort across all of these 7 pointers into that one event. And as soon as we got on that stage, that opened up a ton more doors for us. We've got speaking gigs off the back of speaking at that event.
Yes, exactly.
All right, come on.
Number 5. Number 5 is to be seen.
Those fingers weren't quite prominent. There we go.
Number 5 is to be seen to be serious about speaking. Okay, if it's just something that you do in the sidelines and it's not that important to you, then the organisers will get a sense of that if they're on their website. Okay, so if you have a speaking page on your website, if you don't have a speaking page on your website, you know, it's obviously going to be harder for people to hire you and get a sense of what you speak about. If you have a speaker's page that's not really filled in all that much, it's going to be tough to hire you. Okay, so you
what
really
is a
need to
filled in
be
speaking page?
seen to... okay, so... on a speaking page, you know, you want photos or a video of you actually speaking. People need to see it.
Previous events you've spoke
Previous
at.
events that you spoke at, they need to know you've had some experience. You want to see some either tweetamonials of people that have seen you speak and have said it's awesome, testimonials from organisers, topics that you actually speak about.
I think topics is a really good one, or even like we've got on our speaker page, I think we've got 4 main presentations that we love to give at different events, and we've kind of got those listed that people can pick from straight away.
Yeah, and then we've got some kind of booking form or save the date or contact form or calendar or something like that.
And we've got a list of all the events we've spoken at this year and all the events we're going to speak at next year, and then logos of all the events too.
Yes,
and just a lot of it's kind of subconscious. If someone's on that speaking page and they see all of this information, which isn't really hard to pull together either, is it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, these guys are serious about this. These do this for a living.
Yeah. So I've got a few different tips to be seen to be serious about speaking. So number 1, it's going to read this list here. We got get evidence. So it's not all just about your speaker role, you know, it's about all these other things that we've just mentioned. A speaker role is great, but some organisers don't even either need to see it or want to see it. They might actually just want to see the raw footage of you speak. They might feel the need that they have to see you speak, but in any case, you should get as much evidence as possible, even if it's just photos. I think you should be seen on social to be talking about the events that you go into. So we talk about it a lot on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram stories. We share like our whole journey there. So people following our story, other organisers, they can see, oh, these guys are speaking everywhere. I need them at my event, okay, which is really good. Or if other speakers see you speaking elsewhere and they are asked if they could recommend anyone, they're going to say, have you seen Andrew and Pete speak? They seem to be doing a lot of speaking recently. Maybe they'd be good. Okay, so put it out on your social media. Have it in your actual bio so that people can search for you on Twitter and LinkedIn. Speakers, they're searching for it. Is it in your bio? Does it actually say that you are a speaker? That could be quite good. Maybe include a photo of you speaking either on your website or on your social media graphics.
Headers.
Photo of you actually, the social media headers. A photo of you does absolutely wonders, especially if it is a good stage that you can get a good photo on. Share as many photos of you speaking as possible on social. Get testimonials and have tweets as proof. We love having tweets rather than just quotes.
Yeah.
And we also love tweets as well because it's almost like social proof that it's been so good that they've tweeted about it. Rather, it's not just I've done a private message to you. So that's quite good. And a serious speaker would have either a really good page on the website or another website completely just for their speaking profile. Okay, so this is something you want to really fill out in depth.
Yes.
So all in all, number 5 is to be more serious, to be seen more serious about speaking.
Seen more serious about speaking. Like it. All
right.
Go on.
Number 6.
Number 6 is to connect with other speakers. So this is really cool. When you're going to different events and you're seeing the other speakers, connect with them there. But also, it's a great way to kind of build a network of speakers that you can recommend to other events. So especially as you're doing more speaking gigs, you're either going to find that you are asked by event organisers if you know anyone else that's speaking, or we've had it a few times where we can actually make the date that we've been asked to speak for because it conflicts with another booking. So if you've got there a pool of other speakers that you are willing to recommend, then they will repay the favour back to you. We've seen that time and time again. When we can recommend other speakers, they will recommend then events to us. Yes. So even just having I don't think, we haven't really formalised that in any way, but almost just having your black book somewhere of speakers that you can recommend to event organisers if the opportunity should arise, so the reciprocal comes back to you.
Boom. I like it.
All right,
okay, awesome. Number 7, the final way that we have for you here is to be a little bit more remarkable with your presentations. So the job doesn't stop once you have got that speaking gig. If you want to be asked back, if you want to impress the audience, if you want to be recommended from that talk, if you want the video format of footage of that talk to be good and used, you need to be creating great presentations. And if it's something that's worth talking about and sharing, then you're going to get booked a ton more times with every talk you do. Every talk is going to lead to 2 more talks, and those 2 talks are going to lead to 4 more talks, and 6 and 8. And it's going to grow and grow and grow. We're
a little bit competitive when it comes to talks. So we know if we're on a speaker lineup with a ton of other speakers, we want to put as much effort into our talk as possible. So when people go home that day, they remember ours. So that last point about being friends with the speakers, that goes out the window once you've got the job, because you want to be the best speaker on the No, I'm just joking. Well, there is a little bit of that, but it's a case of just pushing yourself so people remember you. And you've got to remember all those people that you are speaking to. It's almost like an advert of how good you are at speaking to all those people, because you don't know who asks them for speaker recommendations. You don't know who has their own events in their audience sometimes. So it's just a good idea to put on as good a talk as possible.
Leave them with something worth talking about, okay? Oftentimes in our talks, we will bring some kind of talking point to the talk. Like, we've brought 6-foot blow-up aliens before. We've brought 300 beach balls before and had them blown up for the audience.
We've had a splash zone.
We've had water guns. All these things are highly tweetable and highly shared because it's completely different to all the other speakers. Even if our talk was rubbish, people would still talk about it, which is cool. And the more you talk about, the more you're gonna get. But
you don't have to do something crazy or daft or silly, maybe like what we border on sometimes, but just do something memorable. That is the key.
memorable.
All right, guys.
Boom.
That is literally the 7 things that we have been putting into our own business to get these more speaking gigs over the past year. 27 has been crazy for us. This is the last one of the year. So we're ready for a nap after
Yes.
this.
If you have any more questions, or if you'd like to help you with any more tips, then please do let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to help. But
Please
for now,
do also subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed already. What are you doing?
what are you waiting for?
Please subscribe, and we can
Please.
send you some more awesome video every single week. For those of you that don't know, I am Andrew.
And I've been Pete.
And we will see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.